Bad bosses. I wanted to take a few minutes to share my experiences of working with bad bosses and to inform you of how bad bosses can be a detriment to a business. I have witnessed firsthand multiple times when poor boss behavior can bring down a properly functioning team in a workforce. Through research, I have found that these poor behaviors and practices are common and recurring throughout the business world. The Times magazine listed an article, 10 Signs You Might Have a Bad Boss by Jason Ewing. In his article, he gave examples and explanations for the signs to be aware of. Some of these signs are failing to admit responsibility or mistakes. Whether we are a boss or not, we are still human and we all make mistakes. By not being able to admit to mistakes and apologizing for them, how can we expect others to feel free to admit to their own mistakes? There has been multiple times when I have witnessed employees follow their boss's instructions to avoid being insubordinate and losing their jobs, only to get the full blame for the mistake because their boss failed to admit that it was his idea, his instruction, that led to the issue. I have seen coworkers get demoted and even fired because the boss didn't come clean and take the responsibility. Setting a bar that's too high. Standards are important and it's vital to hold your people accountable. At the same time, people aren't machines and leaders need to be aware of that. Expectations should be clearly communicated, should be achievable, and the employee needs to buy into the expectations. If your employees feel that your standards are too high to achieve, they will stop trying. This was a common theme for the entire workforce at my former employment. We would meet a daily production goal, and the standard for all the teams would be reset. We all knew that no matter how well we did, our jobs would never be good enough for the boss. When we made an improvement, we wouldn't get anything more than good job, but now we need to try for more. Mistake enforcing discipline for creating genuine accountability. By writing people up, threatening their jobs, and cracking the whip, as it were, is not a good formula for creating accountability. This kind of leadership is what I refer to as management through fear and intimidation. This type of leadership inspires people to work just hard enough to not get fired and hope their mistakes are not caught. At one point in time, most of my team was under the state of mind that no matter how good a job we did, we were going to get disciplined at some point. We might be a great employee that does our job well. For the slightest mistake, we could lose our job through no fault of our own. At one point, we were even told that if we couldn't do our jobs, we would be replaced with monkeys off the street. That struck home the point with a lot of my coworkers that we were only there to make the boss look good, and if we didn't, we would be replaced. Failing to engage with your direct reports on a human level. Having a boss that says, "I don't care what's going on at home, just do your job," is a sure way to manage an employee out of the door and to lose the respect of your team. I have had many good coworkers move on because they have been mistreated and because they knew the difference between working for a good boss over a bad one. It helps the employee feels important to the job and that the boss actually cares. I know firsthand that employees will be motivated to work for an employer that respects them and shows interest in their personal difficulties and is willing to work with them. Respect goes both ways. When an employer doesn't respect the employees but demands their respect, things will go downhill fast. All respect is earned and must be maintained or it will be lost. Every business must have good, competent bosses. along with other capable employees to effectively run their business. To keep and maintain good employees, they must be valued by their bosses. Thank you.